Every spring, millions of American homeowners spend Saturday after Saturday pulling the same weeds from the same bare patches of soil and buying the same mulch that washes away by July. For gardeners in their 50s and 60s who have spent enough seasons fighting that cycle, this video ends it. 10 ground covering perennials that spread fast, build dense and suppress weeds permanently, without replanting, without chemicals, and without going back to the nursery every May. One of these plants works in conditions where nothing else survives. Stay for it. Welcome to Natural Verge, where ancient plant wisdom meets practical modern living. Today we are breaking down 10 ground, covering perennials to plant this May that spread fast and suppress weeds permanently. Later in this video, one plant on this list thrives where soil is bone dry and nothing else survives. Stay for that one. Subscribe. New plant knowledge every week. Most American homeowners approach bare soil the same way. A bag of mulch, a few annuals, and the hope that this year will be different. By August, the weeds are back. The mistake is not the effort. The mistake is planting things that do not spread, do not connect, and do not build a living canopy that competes with weed seed at soil level. A true ground cover perennial does three things. It spreads laterally to fill every gap. It builds foliage dense enough to block light from reaching weed seeds below. And it does this year after year without replanting. Every plant on this list does all three. The difference between a garden that weeds itself and one that you weed every weekend is the decision you make this May. Most homeowners look at the bare, compacted soil under their old shade trees and assume nothing will grow there. That assumption costs them years of frustration and wasted planting money. Vinca minor periwinkle is one of the most proven ground cover perennials in American and European horticulture, and it is specifically built for exactly that situation. It spreads by trailing stems that root wherever they contact soil, gradually building a dense evergreen mat that glossy leaves hold green right through winter when every other ground cover has gone dormant. In USDA zones 4 through 9, spanning from the upper Midwest through the deep South, Vinca minor establishes with low effort and then simply continues expanding season after season. American homeowners spend an average of $200 to $400 per season on mulch for a single large border, a cost that resets every spring with zero permanent benefit. A one-time planting of Vinca minor at $1.50 to $3 per plug, covering that same area over 2 seasons, eliminates that recurring cost permanently. For variety, look for Alba, for white flowers and shade, or the standard blue-violet species form, for the most vigorous spread. Both perform well from the Northeast down through the Gulf Coast. The single most common mistake with Vinca minor is planting too sparsely and expecting rapid coverage, space plugs 12 inches apart, and water consistently through the first season. After that, it handles itself. The next plant on this list goes where even Vinca cannot follow. There is a specific problem in American gardens that defeats most homeowners: the dry, dense shade under a mature oak or maple, where nothing seems to hold. Professional landscape architects have had a consistent answer to that problem for decades, and that answer is Pachysandra. Pachysandra terminalis, Japanese spurge, spreads more slowly than Vinca, but with a determination and uniformity that is unmatched in truly difficult deep shade. It builds a low, structured carpet of dark, whorled foliage that stays evergreen through winter, tolerates dry shade better than virtually any other ground cover perennial, and once fully established, holds its ground against weed pressure with almost no maintenance required. In USDA zones 4 through 8, covering the Northeast, Midwest, and Mid-Atlantic, it is the professional landscaper's go-to for problem areas that defeat everything else. Most homeowners have spent $50 to $150 on shade, tolerant annuals that fail under dense tree canopy by midsummer, repeating that cost season after season with no lasting result. A single planting of Pachysandra at roughly $2 to $4 per plant builds permanent coverage that holds for decades. For variety, the standard species form is the most vigorous, but green sheen offers more reflective, glossy leaves that genuinely brighten darker garden areas. Both are reliably cold, hardy into Zone 4, making them suitable across the upper Midwest and Northeast, where shade planting options are limited. The most common mistake is planting Pachysandra in a sunny position. It bleaches, weakens, and becomes vulnerable to disease rapidly in full sun. Keep it in shade or deep, partial shade. The next plant on this list brings something no other ground cover offers: fragrance alongside function. Most gardeners choose a ground cover purely for what it does to the soil beneath it. They never think about what it gives to the air above it. Sweet woodruff is the ground cover that changes that assumption entirely. Gallium odoratum spreads to fill shaded borders with a soft, feathery layer of bright whorled leaves, topped with tiny white star flowers in spring, that create a genuinely refined woodland floor effect. But what makes sweet woodruff unlike any other ground cover on this list is fragrance. The dried leaves contain coumarin, a natural compound that produces a sweet vanilla, hay scent used for centuries to fragrance linen, dried bouquets, and herbal preparations. In USDA zones 4 through 8, it thrives in moist partial to full shade, working beautifully alongside hostas, ferns, and spring bulbs in the Northeast, Pacific Northwest, and Upper Midwest. Specialty herb and fragrant plant vendors sell dried sweet woodruff for $8 to $15 per small bundle, a product your garden produces freely once a planting is established. A square yard of sweet woodruff, purchased as plugs at $3 to $5 each, fills in across 2 seasons through underground rhizome spread, and then holds that space with reliable weed exclusion year after year. Unlike more aggressive spreaders on this list, sweet woodruff is well behaved. It fills its assigned area gradually without overtaking neighboring plants, which makes it ideal for precise placement in managed borders. The most common mistake is planting it in dry conditions. Sweet woodruff needs consistent moisture to spread well, and a dry summer will stall it significantly. Keep the soil evenly moist through establishment. The next plant on this list is one of the fastest gap fillers in any ground, level planting, and almost nobody uses it. Most gardeners assume that the gaps between their stepping stones, paving joints, and rock garden pockets are simply difficult spaces to fill. They mulch them, they weed them, they ignore them. Mazus reptans makes every one of those spaces a planting opportunity. This low mat forming perennial from Asia builds one of the densest ground layers available. Small, bright green leaves reaching no more than an inch high, covered in spring with purple and white flowers that bear a striking resemblance to tiny snapdragons at close range. What separates Mazus from every other plant on this list is its combination of extreme low height and fast lateral spread by surface runners. It fills gaps with precision, moving into spaces that taller ground covers cannot occupy. It also tolerates light foot traffic, which makes it genuinely suitable between paving joints where other plants would not survive regular contact. In USDA zones 5 through 8, it establishes rapidly across the Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Pacific Northwest. American homeowners spend an average of $80 to $150 per season having paving and path joints hand-weeded, a cost that disappears entirely once Mazus reptans establishes across those same gaps. Plugs are typically available at $3 to $5 each, and a single flat covers a substantial paved area within 2 growing seasons. For variety, the standard species form is the most reliably available and the most vigorous. A white-flowered form exists but spreads slightly less aggressively. Both are suitable for zone 5 through 8. The most common mistake with Mazus reptans is allowing it to dry out during its first summer. It spreads by surface runners that need consistent surface moisture to root into new positions. A dry establishment period significantly slows its coverage speed. Water regularly through the first season, and it will handle the rest. Coming up next, the one ground cover on this list that delivers the most spectacular spring display of any plant growing at ground level. There is a moment in May when a well-established planting of creeping phlox stops looking like a garden plant and starts looking like something painted onto a hillside. Phlox subulata produces one of the most visually powerful spring displays of any ground, level plant available, cascading sheets of pink, purple, white, or bicolor flowers that completely cover the foliage for several weeks and transform slopes, banks, and border edges into something genuinely extraordinary. But creeping phlox is not just beautiful. It is one of the most functional ground covers on this list. It builds a dense, evergreen mat of fine needle, like leaves that remains attractive through all 4 seasons, spreads steadily outward to fill and hold its position, and becomes drought-tolerant once established, making it one of the few ornamental ground covers that actually performs better on challenging slopes and banks where most other plants struggle. In USDA zones 3 through 9, it covers the full range from the upper Midwest to the Gulf Coast. A single mature clump of creeping phlox at a local nursery sells for $12 to $18. That same plant, left to spread naturally over 3 seasons, will cover an area worth $80 to $120 at nursery prices, permanently eliminating weed pressure across that space. For variety selection, emerald blue is the most reliable producer of clear blue-purple flowers, and one of the strongest spreading forms available. Candy Stripe delivers striking bicolor pink and white blooms, and is cold hardy into Zone 3, making it an excellent choice for gardeners across the northern states and upper Midwest. The most common mistake with creeping phlox is pruning it too hard, or not at all after flowering. A light trim of 1/3 of the foliage immediately after the spring bloom keeps the mat dense and compact, and encourages the plant to direct its energy into lateral spread rather than leggy vertical growth. Coming up, we are past the halfway point, and the most important plant on this list is still ahead. You are now past the halfway point of this video, and 5 more ground cover perennials are still ahead, including the one plant teased at the start that performs in the driest, most exposed conditions your garden has. That plant is still coming right now. Drop your state in the comments. Your USDA zone completely changes which of these performs best for you, and this video has been calling out specific zone. If you are in your 50s or 60s and you have spent too many seasons fighting bare soil, buying mulch that disappears, and replacing plants that did not last, this channel was built specifically for where you are right now. Subscribe, it is free and it always will be. The second half of this list contains some of the most underused and highest performing ground cover perennials available, including the one that works where nothing else does. Every plant on this list so far has formed a flat spreading mat across the soil surface. Liriope, muscari, liliturf does something different, and that difference solves a specific problem that mat-forming ground covers cannot. Liriope builds neat, arching clumps of dark strap, like leaves, a form that creates visual structure and textural contrast in borders, while still spreading slowly outward to fill available ground. What makes Liriope genuinely valuable in the American garden context is its bloom timing. While every other ground cover on this list flowers in spring, Liriope produces its spikes of violet, purple flowers in late summer and early autumn, bringing color to the border at a point when most other plants have finished. It is evergreen, maintains full coverage through winter, and is highly tolerant of drought, shade, and poor soil. In USDA zones 5 through 10, it performs consistently across the Mid-Atlantic, South, and Pacific coast. And in zone 6 and above, it holds structure through winter without dieback. Liriope plants at American garden centers typically retail for $8 to $15 each. But each clump slowly multiplies by division at the base, meaning a border planted with 10 plants in year 1 can yield 30 or more plants available for division and replanting by year 4, at zero additional cost. For variety, Big Blue is the standard reliable performer. Deep green strap leaves, strong flower spike production, solid zone 5 cold hardiness. For gardeners in the South and Mid-Atlantic who want additional ornamental interest, variegated Liriope with cream. Edged leaves brighten shaded border edges with year, round reflected light. The most common mistake with Liriope is allowing old foliage to accumulate over several seasons without cutting back. An early spring cut to a few inches above soil level removes winter, damaged tips, and drives vigorous, clean new growth each season. Keep that habit and it remains one of the most reliably structured border plants available. The next plant moves fastest of anything on this list. If bare soil coverage speed is your priority, if you have a renovated border that needs ground level weed exclusion as fast as possible, no plant on this list delivers faster results than Ajuga reptans. Bugle spreads by surface stolons that extend rapidly across open soil, rooting as they go and building a dense weed, excluding canopy, with some of the most striking foliage available at ground level. Varieties offer deep purple, black, bronze, chocolate, and multicolor leaf coloring that maintains intensity year-round, creating a living carpet that is as ornamentally valuable in October as it is in May. In spring, upright spikes of intense blue flowers rise several inches above the foliage, one of the cleanest color combinations in any ground level planting. In USDA zones 3 through 9, Ajuga establishes across every major American climate region, from the upper Midwest and Northeast through the Pacific Northwest and Gulf Coast, and it competes effectively with most weed species once its canopy closes. A single flat of Ajuga plugs, typically 18 to 32 plants at $1.50 to $3 each, can cover a substantial border area within one growing season, replacing what would otherwise require $60 to $120 of mulch annually with a permanent living solution. For variety, Black Scallop delivers some of the deepest near black foliage available in any ground level perennial, exceptionally striking against lighter companion plants. Burgundy Glow offers multicolor cream, pink, and bronze leaves and is cold hardy into Zone 3, making it one of the strongest options for northern state gardeners. The most common mistake with Ajuga reptans is allowing it to spread into lawn areas unchecked. It will naturalize into turf if borders are not edged cleanly once per season. A firm edging cut in early spring keeps it precisely where you want it and prevents it from becoming more than you intended. The next plant is the most refined and underused option for sunny positions on this entire list. Of the 10 plants on this list, Veronica prostrata is the one that almost nobody thinks to use as a ground cover, and that gap in awareness is worth addressing directly. Prostrate speedwell builds a low spreading mat of fine evergreen foliage in sunny, open positions, and in early summer, it produces small, bright blue flowers that create a soft, refined haze across the entire ground surface that is visually unlike anything else growing at this height. It is not the fastest spreader on this list, and it is not the most aggressive weed suppressor. But for the front of sunny borders, rock gardens, and bank stabilization in open positions, it delivers a combination of weed, suppressing density, and ornamental flower display that is genuinely difficult to match at ground level. In USDA zones 4 through 8, it performs reliably across the Northeast, Midwest, and Mid-Atlantic evergreen in mild winters, and returning quickly from its base in harsher zone 4 conditions in the upper Midwest and Northern Plains. Veronica prostrata plugs are typically available at $4 to $7 each from specialty perennial nurseries, less commonly stocked in big box garden centers, which is precisely why it remains underused despite its genuine performance value. A planted front border edge that costs $40 to $60 to establish with Veronica creates permanent weed suppression across the most visible and highest maintenance strip of any garden. For variety, the standard blue flowering species form is the most widely available and most reliable. Trehane offers golden yellow foliage with the same blue flowers, an unusual combination that creates strong visual contrast in sunny borders. The most common mistake is planting Veronica prostrata in partial shade. It thins, loses its dense mat habit, and flower production drops significantly. It requires a genuinely sunny position to perform at its best. The next plant on this list is the one teased at the very start of this video, built specifically for the conditions where everything else on this list struggles to survive. At the start of this video, One plant was set aside, one that works where everything else on this list would struggle to survive. This is that plant. If you have a south-facing slope, a thin gravel bed, a rooftop garden, or a sun-baked border, where the soil bakes dry by June and stays that way until October, Sedum reflexum fills the ecological niche that no other ground cover on this list can occupy. Reflex stonecrop is a mat-forming succulent perennial that builds dense blue-gray coverage across the most difficult dry conditions in any garden, topped with bright yellow star-shaped flowers in summer that rise above the foliage and draw genuine attention even from a distance. It does not need fertile soil. It does not need regular watering once established. It actively thrives in conditions that would kill every other plant on this list within a single dry season. In USDA zones 3 through 9, it performs across the full American climate range, from sun-baked southern slopes to thin rocky soil in the Northeast and upper Midwest. American homeowners with difficult dry slopes and gravel areas spend an average of $100 to $300 per season attempting to establish plants that simply are not built for those conditions, losing that investment to summer drought repeatedly. A one-time planting of Sedum reflexum at $3 to $6 per plug eliminates that recurring loss permanently and delivers reliable summer flower color as a bonus. For variety, the standard blue-gray species form is the most widely available and the most vigorous spreader. Blue spruce's sedum offers a very similar habit with slightly more upright needle-like foliage, a useful alternative where a marginally taller form is preferred. The most common mistake with Sedum reflexum is the opposite of almost every other plant on this list: overwatering during establishment. Sedum is a succulent and requires sharp drainage above all else. Planting it in heavy clay or consistently moist soil leads to root rot. Not establishment. Plant it in your worst, draining, most neglected dry spot. That is exactly where it belongs. One plant remains. The name is the only thing working against this plant. Dead nettle sounds like something you pull out of a fence line, and that association has kept Lamium maculatum underused in American gardens for decades, despite the fact that professional plants people consistently rank it among the most ornamentally valuable shade ground covers available. Lamium maculatum, spotted dead nettle, is completely harmless, entirely unrelated to stinging nettles, and carries foliage that does something no other plant on this list does. It reflects light, silver splashed leaves or gold splashed in some varieties, actively brighten dark, shaded border areas in a way that green foliage cannot. It spreads quickly under shrubs and in dry border edges where establishing anything with ornamental value is a genuine challenge. Pink, white, or purple flowers appear in spring, adding a seasonal display alongside its year-round foliage interest. In USDA zones 3 through 8, it covers the full Northern American climate range, reliable from the Northeast through the upper Midwest and Pacific Northwest. Dead nettle plugs typically retail at $3 to $6 each at American garden centers, and a single well-established plant spreads to cover a square foot or more per season in suitable shade conditions, making it one of the most cost-effective ornamental ground covers for difficult dry shade areas. For variety, White Nancy offers the most striking silver foliage with white flowers, the best choice for genuinely dark areas that need maximum light reflection. Beacon Silver delivers the same silver leaves with pink flowers, a warmer combination that works well in semi-shaded border edges. For something completely different, Orium produces gold-toned foliage that creates an unexpected warm glow in shaded positions. The most common mistake with dead nettle is allowing it to spread into open sunny positions during an unusually wet season. It will attempt to colonize beyond its shade zone, but exposed to full summer sun, it scorches and retreats. Redirect it back to shade, and it performs exactly as intended. You now have all 10. Here is how to rank them for your specific situation. We are not ending here. You can choose every plant on this list correctly and still fail if you do not know these 3 things. First, plant in May, not June, Ground covers establish lateral spread roots in the cool soil of late spring. A June planting in American summer heat stalls, establishment by 6 to 8 weeks. Second, 3 of these plants are still routinely specified by professional landscape architects for large-scale commercial weed suppression. Pachysandra for deep shade contracts, Liriope for structured urban borders, and Vinca minor for large area slope coverage. If professionals choose them at scale, the reasoning holds for your garden. Third, for combined ornamental and functional value, the strongest home garden trio is creeping Phlox for sunny slopes, Ajuga for rapid shade coverage, and dead nettle for dry shade with light. If you have never done this before, start with Vinca and Ajuga. Both establish fast and forgive early mistakes. If you have been gardening for years, add Sedum and Veronica to the edges. Your current planting cannot reach. Every like tells YouTube this content is worth showing to other American gardeners who need it. Drop your state and your first pick in the comments. Subscribe to Natural Verge, built for gardeners who want real results.